When the Pokemon anime started over 25 years ago, we were introduced to a spectacular and quirky world of Pokemon battling. But like, what if we weren't? Let's imagine an alternate universe, where the fun and quirky world of the original series is slightly different. Instead of the gym challenge being the dreams of every trainer, in this world, Ash Ketchum would vow to become a top coordinator. Imagine a version of Kanto where Pokemon contests are the main event. Let's get right into it so I can show you what I'm thinking. In this AU, Ash Ketchum is the same spunky, stubborn trainer we know and love. The one difference is all his life, he's been wanting to become a Pokemon coordinator with a starter Pokemon from Professor Oak. On his 10th birthday, he went to receive his partner, but he woke up late. Because of this, there's only one Pokemon left for him to receive. And here's where the next change of this AU comes into place, because in this universe, Oak would give Ash a Clefairy. If you didn't know, Ash's partner was originally going to be Clefairy before being changed to Pikachu before the first episode. This change will reference that, as well as Clefairy maybe fitting a more contest-oriented character in this version of Ash. With that in mind, this version of Ash will travel through Kanto taking on Pokemon contests instead of the gym challenge. The show will progress similarly to the original series of Pokemon, but due to this changed world, some of the characters will be a bit different, such as Ash's main rival Gary Oak. Gary is the same jerk rival as always. It's just that this time, him and his Squirtle are trying to be elegant performers instead of champions. Think of this Gary Oak maybe a little more like the Wallace we saw in Pokemon Journeys. In addition to him, Ash's traveling companions will be slightly changed. We still have Brock and Misty, but their characters are slightly altered for this different world. Since gyms aren't focused on here, or maybe don't even exist, the fact that these characters were gym leaders is basically irrelevant. Brock instead will have been a caretaker for his siblings, trying to use his Pokemon to put on shows to keep them entertained. However, when Flint comes back, Brock leaves on the journey he always wanted to in order to become a doctor and help train Ash. Furthermore, we have Misty, who will lean more into her tomboyish mermaid persona and the shows she put on at the Celadon gym. She'll still give Ash a hard time as always, and help train him. The final characters we'll take a look at are the Team Rocket trio. For some reason or another, these bozos will be obsessed with capturing Ash's Clefairy. To add depth to their original characters, now Jessie, James, and Meowth would be entering and even rigging some Pokemon contests. Whenever this happens, Ash's team would give them a good blasting off, and as always, they would never learn their lesson. So that's the basics of the changes in this new version of Kanto and its characters. With that in mind, what would a brief look at Ash's adjusted journey be? First, let's take a look at his team. Obviously, Clefairy is his main ace, who would start off distrusting and eventually warm up to him. Clefairy's personality would be a mix of OS Pikachu's spunk, and maybe even a little bit of Red's Clefairy from the Pokemon Pocket Monsters manga thrown in. After setting out on his journey, he'd catch Pidgeotto and Butterfree as usual, who would use Flight and Air in their performances. Bulbasaur would be caught from the Hidden Village, and act as a sort of team captain while the team works together on techniques. Charizard, as before, would be the only fully evolved Pokemon of the team, and disobedient, making it similar to Dawn's Mamoswine in its role. Ash's Squirtle would learn water techniques from Misty, and maybe have a similar battling style to May's Squirtle from AG. With that, we have our main squad of 6 up until the episode Bye Bye Butterfree, and in this universe, this episode is actually going to be Bye Bye Pidgeotto. Look, Butterfree is just too perfect for Pokemon contests. It needs to stay around. Pidgeotto leaving will have the same weight, and honestly it's unnecessary for it to stay on the team, with it just being a worse flying type. With that release behind us, Ash's final team member will actually be Togepi. I think this change makes a lot of sense given the context of this AU, and makes for a fun adjustment from the canon. Togepi's just a baby, so it can't exactly battle yet. However, its cuteness can win its fair share of appeal rounds. So there's our final team of 6, but this is Kanto, so Ash will still have some random reserves. Kingler and Muck will still be around, but devolved. Krabby will become a surprise powerhouse in the Grand Festival, and Grammar will be reminiscent of Dawn's from the Summer Academy. Instead of Tauros, Ash's final reserve will be Mimey. It becomes his Pokemon eventually in canon, so let's let the clown show off its stuff at one point or another in this AU. With this team in hand, Ash and his friends will travel Kanto taking on many contests. He'll lose some and win some, mainly fighting characters of the day in the true Kanto fashion. Characters like Samurai, Giselle, Anthony, and Otoshi will be opponents for contests as Ash builds up his 5 ribbons. Once Ash gets to the Grand Festival, he'll make it through by legitimately defeating Jessie in a fight, and eventually losing to Richie and his Clefairy. Or hey, maybe Richie can have a Cleffa to promote Gen 2, I'm not sure. In any case, Ash will leave the Grand Festival with dreams of moving on to more contest journeys in the future, bringing him through many other regions over 25 years. He'll make it to Johto and finally defeat Gary, then to Hoenn where he travels with May, who in this timeline would be a battler just to even everything out. Maybe after such a long journey, he can become a contest master. Thanks for watching. Tell me in the comments what trainer class you think Ash could be. I'll be back with more uploads soon, so comment, like, and subscribe if you want to see them. Peace out.